Yay! Hello, folks. Welcome to BYOG 2021. I hope you're all ready to jam. Uh, we're essentially just playing, maybe just playing a video of the last year's finalists.
If
What
I
are you
may
saying?
interrupt, people can't hear us on the stream.
Yeah, people are saying no sound. Can people see us? They can't see us. Right?
Yeah,
Can you guys
stream
hear
will
us?
be stream is a bit delayed, so probably they'll start hearing us now.
We can hear your
Yep.
audios, but we can't hear the audio of the video now.
No.
They will. Yeah, they started hearing.
We started hearing the audio, our audio, or the audio from the video.
All audio are audible. I am seeing it now. So yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So I'm going to Discord, turning on my cam, and yep, we are ready to roll.
Awesome. Okay, thank you all for joining us. This is BYOG 2021. I'm getting some feedback, but welcome to BYOG 2021. And for those of you who don't know what BYOG is, it's a jam. It's been around for quite a while, and this is the 16th edition. It's not going by year. We did a lot of jams in between. We fit a lot of them into 1 year, so we're not the 10th or 11th. We are the 16th. This is the 16th edition of this jam. Since 2013 or 12, I guess we've been doing this jam annually with it was NASCOM GDC at some point, and now it is India GDC. So we've been doing it with them annually, and it has been insane. We've kind of been growing over the past few years, and this I think is probably since 2011, I guess. But this has been I think this is probably the biggest jam that we've had so far. Vivek, how many people have signed up so far? Do you know?
450.
That's nice. We finally managed to hit that number before we started. So we were hoping that we would hit 450, and we have hit 450, which is great. 453 to be exact. Hopefully there'll be more of us joining or people joining this time. And yeah, so that is kind of BYOG in a nutshell. You can read about it on the Jam site, on the HIO page. If you want to know more about it, if you want to talk to, you can always catch up with us and and talk to us about it as well. Like all the editions of BYOG, we've had a great number of awesome people as judges, and this year is not any different. We have 5 awesome people from different parts and places, and who are all games industry professionals who've agreed to kind of help us. It's going to be an insane task, knowing from what it was last year. We had about 313 people joining us, and we had 83 games to play, and that was difficult. And we have 450 now, and I'm sure that number of games which are going to be submitted are going to go even higher. But yeah, but that's how it is. You I don't I'll just name the jury members. I know that you've already gone through the list, but I'm just gonna just kind of give a shout out to them so that you can kind of follow them on LinkedIn and talk to them on the Discord as well. Anushri Jain, who's a project manager and game designer at Miniclip. Paras Chaudhary, who is a game programmer at Nodding Heads. Safal Kapoor, who is the head of game design at Miniclip. Sampath Velumani, who is the lead game designer at Ubisoft Red Links. And Soumya Iyer, who's a producer at Zinka. So not all of them are here at the moment. Yay! No, thank you again for kind of agreeing to do this tremendously insane task. We will be there to help definitely and smoothen the process out. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. But yeah, well, you signed up for it now. Too late to back. But
Just so everyone's clear, there was no list of how many games we'd be testing, any of it. Like, hey, do you wanna be a gamer? Like, sure, why not? And then here we are. Now he tells me. Okay,
yeah,
thanks, Yadu.
it was a trap all along.
Now
Uh,
you also know why we didn't tell you earlier.
yes.
No, but having said that, pleasure to be here. More than happy to do this because in 2013, Yadu conducted a BYOG. Me and Paris were we were part of it. And I remember, Paris went on to win something and I didn't, but that became my final year project and all of that. Well, it was a tremendous experience. Like, I really, really appreciate it and cherish it.
Yay. We don't have much of like an event as such. We just wanted to kind of run up to this event. So we've asked the last year's winners to kind of join us. We have Vedang and Pranay here, and you can just say hello and kind of introduce yourself. And we will probably just kind of drill you with a bunch of questions so that you yeah, go for it.
I guess Proxy should go first for winning first team first.
Sure, sure. So my name is Pranay Chatterjee. I'm currently a student of BTech. I'm currently pursuing BTech, and I don't like studies. I just make games all day. So yeah, I'm basically like making games and playing games. That's all. And I
I
get one the last time. BYOG.
Yeah, and hi, I'm Vedang. I just graduated this year and I started working in a software company. And in the past time, I love to make games, and yeah, that's about it. And I won second in last year's BYOG.
So, guys, what was the secret to your success? What did you do in the BYOG? How did you ensure you got the game ready and uh, took it to the top?
So, firstly, like I don't have a paved path as such. As soon as I get the team, I start procrastinating, and but the way I followed is like firstly, I jotted down some ideas. I gave myself about 1 hour or so uh, in putting in the ideation phase, and I just try to make a finished prototype within the first day. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. It doesn't have to have a good level design or sound effects or everything. Just getting the main core gameplay and mechanics of the game right within the first day. And on the second day, like I mainly focus on fixing some of the bugs, like adding in very small features if needed, and the level design. And one very important thing, I put a lot of time in testing out the game. So like the last thing we want is the player falling out of the map due to wrong tick in the is collider is trigger in a collider. So yeah, I put in a lot of time in testing, and yeah, that's it.
Do check out their games if you haven't. Pranay's game is Shadow Cape, and Vedang's game is The Hero Who Does Not Remember. Sanam Mohan, who is not here right now, was the third person to have won. His game is The Broken Knight. Do check them out. In like interesting question, are you guys jamming this year?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yay! Are you excited?
of course.
very much. Yeah.
Are
You
you
know when
ready?
the yeah you know when the price reveal dropped, and I was like, damn, you guys have gone pretty far.
No, no, no. I guess Yadu sir knows. I registered for it a long time ago. Even when the price is not there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's again, like we were
Yeah,
talking about this yesterday. It's more of a, like, it's think of it like a tiny fund to keep things going for a short amount of time, and if it helps you build something interesting, hey, that's great. Like, that's what you want to kind of see, and that's what the India GDC has been kind of great to find sponsors for us, and they're also kind of sponsoring us primarily right now, and kind of doing this on, take like doing this every year, and kind of in a way giving back to the community as well, as much as they can. So
So somebody was
yeah,
actually asking this on the live feed. If we get the money from sponsorships. So a big shout out to India GDC for helping BYOG all this year.
yeah, like it, I mean, they've always come, like the years before this. We, like, this was the year the pandemic hit. The BYOG actually, the year before that, actually had an insane price, which was basically you get to go to the Nordic Game Jam. We basically booked tickets for everybody, and then nobody got to go. Sadly, in 2020, as you know what happened. So yeah, so every year has been like, um, like they've kind of stepped up their game, and this year also they've kind of come through for us. So yeah, let's see. So how are you sort of preparing for the jam? Is there any
Um,
preparation that you're doing?
I think just looking at the cookbooks for Game Jam, like,
Ah,
the GMDK guy who published a cookbook, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So just going through that and looking at other jams and the themes and their products that they made, just to get some inspiration.
and
Any
keeping a
ideas
lot
what
of
to?
caffeine supply ready for the night. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I sigh because, like, I've not been able to jam properly for the last 2 years. I've been organizing too many jams and being part of the GGJ as well. And it's just every time you go, and like you really need your 6 hours or 7 hours of sleep at least. So it's just like my capacity to jam has gone down the drain. Like a bunch of us were talking the other day, and we are like, we need like a 7 day long jam which happens on during 9 to 5 work hours. So maybe that's what we're going to do next year for the old people in the room. Older people, not really old, but yeah, tired. Cool. So what's your kind of overall dev process last year, and how do you think that's gonna kind of change this? Are you like better prepared? Did you learn a lot of new things? How are you kind of ready for this?
I guess there's, as I told, like there's not a definite process. Like I like to divide my work. The first day is mainly for the mechanics and the gameplay and all, and I keep the second day for polishing. One tip that I can give is that um, don't like the scope creep that like haunts almost every game. In between making the game, you like think of that I might have a better idea, that I might do something else rather than that. In my experience, at least, stick to the idea that you started with. um, Worst case scenario, if you change ideas in the middle of the jam, like it's happened with me too, and that's why I couldn't put in a lot of effort in the level design in Shadow Keep in the first try. Luckily I got 9, so yeah. But I started with a different game, and it was the scope was really high for 2 days, so I didn't uh, like manage on it as such. So that's one thing. And yeah, just don't focus on like I mainly don't focus on small things that are not as prominent. Like you don't change a pixel of a character who is off the screen half of the time, and yeah, put in much time in that. Uh, just try to do at least I just try to uh, do things that are visible most of the time, and yeah, just make it fun to play. That's all.
I think one more tip I would give is let other people play your game as well. Because when
Yeah,
you make the game as a developer, you know all the things, right? And how the game is supposed to work, how it's supposed to break. But when other people play it, then they break stuff, and they also get interested in some things that you were not expecting them to be. So
sure.
it's an iterative process.
How important is it to kind of get a prototype up and going? Like, what do you think is the first thing that you would want to do as soon as the theme drops?
Prototype your idea. That's it, right?
Yeah,
Prototype for a couple of hours, see if the idea has some potential. If yes, start coding as fast as you can.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the people are getting very impatient on the live chat for the theme.
it, it's
So,
only
so
5:20. Just saying.
yeah, I think because of all that impatience, and everybody's very excited to get the theme. We should probably take some questions from the audience as well.
Go for it.
So somebody was asking about how can they collaborate? How can they find people like programmers or artists to help them finish the game? And if there are any age restrictions.
How can they collaborate is a good question. The best way at this point would be either post on the BYOG Team Finder channel on the Discord. The other way is on the HIO page, there is a community section where you can post stuff. Both of these do not necessarily uh, like guarantee you finding anybody at all, but it's worth trying. Like, see, like the sad part about these things is most of the time people already have people you work with and comfortable with, and they usually end up working together all the time. um, so yeah, so at this point the best option is come to the Discord, ask for people if they want to team up, and hope for the best,
Or just go solo,
or just go solo.
like the previous year winners.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like, a lot of people kind of said this, that like it because the format this year is different, and there is less time. I mean, 24 hours is a short time for a
48
compo.
hours.
Sorry, 48 hours. It's a short period of time for a compo, and like it's much easier to just work with yourself rather than other people, unless you really have worked with them before and you really kind of have some sort of like mental connections, like telepathic. Like unless you really work well together, it's really difficult to find people at the last moment to work on a kind of a jam game. Yeah.
And what
Vivek,
about any
you
restriction?
restrictions as to what? I mean,
Age, geography,
so India
technology?
GDC. So okay, age. India GDC has a requirement that you need to be 18 plus for the conference to be part of the conference. I'm not entirely sure why though. It was a problem when you were visiting Hyderabad, and we have always said that if you are a minor, bring like a local guardian or somebody when you're coming to Hyderabad, because if you won, you need to come and collect the prize and all that. Apart from that, to participate in the BYOG, you don't need any. There is no age restriction as such, but you might need a PAN card and a bank account to collect the winnings if you win. Uh, but you can figure that out along the way as well. As for technology restrictions, there aren't any. If you can legally use the thing that you want to use, like if you want to use Godot, you can use Unity, you can use Unreal, you can use whatever you want, as long as you technically legally can use it. Same goes for assets as well. What was the third thing?
Geography.
Yeah, so you can participate technically from anywhere. As for the prices in the FAQ, it's listed a specific number of countries. I forget which countries they are. But if you are in, so for the prices, if, sorry, I'm just scrolling and trying to find where this is, which I can't find.
People can find this in the FAQ.
People can find this in the FAQ faster than I can find it in the FAQ. which is the case. Yeah, so anyone can participate in the jam, but you need to be from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka to be eligible to win prizes. This is basically it. So technically, if you hold a passport or if you're a citizen of any of these places, and if you're from anywhere else, you can technically participate. So that goes to people with team members elsewhere and all that. That's perfectly fine in this jam. We don't really chase after people and try to find who they are and all that. Yeah. So it's cool,
Things
pretty
to
much.
keep, yeah, things to keep in mind when they are finding team members on the Discord.
That they are Indian or they are from a country in the list. I don't know. Like, is that a question?
No, just an exclamation.
Okay. Vivek, you want to jump into asking the jury some juicy questions? I know that it's a Friday evening and it's like I mean we will take the jury's time later on, not today, but for a short time if you have questions you wanna kind of throw at them.
Before Vivek does that, I'll quickly jump in here just to add on top of the question that we were just discussing, Yadu. There's another question that, as an add-on to it, that if somebody is not from India or Indian at all, can they still participate? The answer you gave is yes. Just to reassure Victor Heroes from the chat that yes, they can participate.
That so I didn't get you the last bit.
So there's Victor Kuros on the chat who's asking if they're not Indian at all or not from India, can they participate? Just to
Technically,
reconfirm to Victor that yes, they can.
yeah, technically they can, but the caveat is that they may not be eligible for the prize. Yeah.
There you go, Victor. Good luck.
Or you find a team member and then win and then split. That is like a thing to, yeah.
Over to you, Nisha.
Yep. Yep. So this was a question that we got yesterday on our AMA session, which is this is directed to our jury. Is while playing the game, what do you think? What is the key aspect that people should keep in mind? Should they focus more on visual look? Should they focus more on game design, or should they just focus more on finishing the game? So, what is the key aspect that you'll be looking on a game as a jury? So, yeah, maybe Anushri.
I can tell you from.
Or yeah,
Oh,
so okay.
No, it's okay. You can go ahead.
hi. Um, so at least from my perspective, I'm a game designer by heart. So when I look at it, think of it as a game jam separate from like an actual game, right? So first impression is best impression in many cases. I don't care how beautiful you played at your code, or I don't care about any of those things. But as long as I can get that first 5 to 10 minutes of proper gameplay that makes sense, or it's has stuck to the theme. Theme is very important if they are releasing a theme to you. So make sure that makes sense. Don't be only true to it. If you can get it through an abstract mean also, as long as it conveys it, it's very important. But it all comes down to how concise and how clear you are with that. So if you have a clear mechanic, how differently have you explored it? What have you done with it? Have you explored through your level design, or have you explored through enemies, or whatever it may be? So that's how at least I would be judging it, but it's not the only criteria that I would use, right? As long as that first 5 minutes, I'm like, holy fuck, this is cool. That's what everyone is looking for within the project. It's all about having fun. You don't have to get it too seriously, especially if you're doing it for the first time. Take a good shot at it. You don't have, like, I failed at this. It's not end all kind of a thing, right? So this is a certain skill in itself, and like any other skill, it just comes with practice. So have fun doing it.
Yeah. Anishi from Yup.
Yeah, I think it's the same for me. I'll be checking out the gameplay, and as he said, like how cool the game is, and it doesn't really matter how it looks, but how different it is basically. So if it's something that I've not played before, something which is inspired from somewhere, but it's totally different, and you've come up with a new idea, and if it's complete or not, if I understand it or not, I think that those are the major things that we'll be checking out. At least I'll be checking out. How are the mechanics? How it feels? That's it.
Okay. Paris, your thoughts?
Yeah. Hi. Am I audible?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I pretty much agree with what Sampath said at the beginning about, I mean, about just having fun, and I mean, especially if you're a newbie at this. But as far as the judging criteria goes, for me, I mean, in addition to what Anushri and Sampath said, it's for me, it's more about not leaving a lot of loose ends. So say that something sometimes that happens when you start with too much on your platter, and the idea is to just make your concept as concise as possible before you get into it. I mean, the whatever you want to do on paper, get that all sorted out, and at the end, as less loose ends as possible. That makes it more enjoyable for me to play. I mean, in addition to all the judging criterias will be there, and whatever you make of the theme, that is purely, I mean, at the discretion of whoever is making the game, all the developers. But whatever you make, if you make it in such a way that it doesn't feel that there are things leaking from the sides, I feel that that kind of attracts me to a game jam game, because that itself I feel is in a skill in it itself, that you're able to package something within these 48 hours, and that feels clean.
Okay. So a well packaged game which is doesn't leak and which gives a clear idea of what they want to do is what they should focus on.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes more is always not better. There might be some hard decisions you will have to take, and especially in such a short timeline. But yeah, if you're able to do that, if you're able to identify what are the features, or what kind of art style, or whatever is going to go into the game is going to make your game pop out over and above the rest, I think that is something that needs to be looked for.
Okay. Thank you.
And how much of an attention you give to polish as well, right? In terms of, are you giving feedback to the player when the person takes an action or your character takes an action? Am I getting that? Am I receiving that? Whatever happens in the game, am I able to understand it? So it's all a concise package, right? Everything needs to come together. Yes, you can have a cool mechanic about it, but if I don't get a good feeling about using it, for example, I can say Mario is all about that jump. Like the whole game is about the jump and how that jump is explored into different aspects of it, in terms of enemies, in terms of platforms or whatever it may be. But if I'm not getting that good feedback on the jump, then I'm not enjoying it as much, or I don't understand the game clearly. So how do you start from explaining the game to how well you've thought out and explored your own game? And if that comes through to the player, then you've done an excellent job.
So, Julie, there's a follow-up question for you from chat, uh, where people want to know between wholesome gameplay versus unique gameplay. What do you value more?
So unique is very, very hard to deliver in 48 hours, right? It's like, if you can do it, nothing like it. It's excellent that you've done it. But if you deliver unique and varied, you won pretty much at that point, right? But at the same time, if it comes down to that 48 hours, how what you can pull off in that point. I would prefer unique, of course, but I am also a realistic person. So if it is varied, that would also be equally appreciated. But it's a noob trap. If you understand what that means, be careful how you approach your game jam.
So, focus on wholesome gameplay. How about Anushri and Paris? Do you echo the same opinion?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's not an easy thing to create a very unique game. Bits and pieces of it would be nice, yes, definitely. But yes, 48 hours is actually difficult to pull that off. So wholesome would be the way to go for this one, please.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree with that. Unless you hit a gold mine of a, I mean, you are in that zone where you come up with a one in a million idea, which is a one in a million chance in these 48 hours, then yeah, go for it. But yeah, I think it about wholesome gameplay, it just reflects on what we just talked about a while ago. I mean, even if it's a 48-hour game jam, consider it as a full production pipeline in a way. I mean, it need not be exactly how it's supposed to be, but a good ideation phase, which corresponds to say a pre-production, and then at the end paying enough attention to polishing the game and having adequate feedbacks for the player to make, even though no matter how short the experience might be, make it memorable.
So, disclaimer is that take whatever we say and don't heavily bias on what we're saying and only focus on that. Just take it at your own pace, see what works best for you. Whatever comes to our table, we're not only going to be looking at, oh, is it unique or is it wholesome or anything like that. We're just going to look at the whole game as a whole using a template, right? So don't get stuck on one word that any of us say and don't just stick to that and try to make it, because that's doing a disservice. You might come at the game jam with a different approach and we can't just throw you off your game.
That's rock solid advice for all jammers.
Sorry.
Yeah,
having said that, I'm still at work. This is my half an hour break. I'm going to run. See you. Take care. Bye. Thank you for having me.
Same for me. I need to go as well.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Bye-bye.
Well, there's one more question from the chat, which is, what are the opportunities for winners? What's in stock for in future for the winners of the jam? Maybe the past year's winners want to take a stab at it.
The connection we got, that was super awesome. We could connect to everyone like Ninja and Yadu. These guys helped us a lot in our game dev future. So for me, the connection is what I got a lot more.
Yeah, just the community and overall experience. That's all. And a lot of LinkedIn connections, I would say, after sharing the post.
But how are those connections helping you both?
Yeah, they do help out, yeah.
Yeah, same.
And this year, the added advantage is the cash bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah.
gonna like this comments, right? Kinjal. People are gonna make a lot of side scrollers this year, especially platformers.
and Rox 892 is suggesting that you can use this money to buy Arctic 3080.
And make platforms.
I think
Yeah, that's what I did. I bought a
I think-
PS5.
Sorry. Yeah, I was saying, I think the question of what is the future for the winners, I think maybe Yadu and Kenshin will be able to give much better answer, because you have seen running this BYOG from past 10 years, so you must have seen a lot of winners. So yeah, is there any story for any winners that can inspire some of the jammers who is going to participate in this BYOG?
Well, if sorry, if I can jump in, I just wanted to say that, yeah, the very first time I participated in BYOG, it was in 2013, and I ended up winning that one. So yeah, I'm still sitting here.
Okay.
It was a really, I like it. It was in its very early stages, and to be honest, it was a very unique experience for me at that time. And I mean, there were a few small pebbles that start tumbling down, and they became really big rolling boulders from that point, directly or indirectly. But yeah, I mean, I always look back to the BYOG of 2013, and then I took part in 2015 also. After that, work started and everything, I mean, became busy, couldn't take part in it. But yeah, I always look back to those few jams that I took part in, especially BYOG. and the people I met, the existing people, the people that I already knew. I mean, I never got to work with them. Otherwise, I worked with them on BYOG. Some of them I'm still working with professionally. So it's, I mean, in the short term, of course, it's about. I mean, you will gain certain bit of recognition, or you will gain the contacts. But in the longer run, which sometimes it doesn't hit you right away. It's about how you stay connected with the whole game dev scene. I mean, these small sprints and all, especially if you're at the beginning of your game dev career, they really help a lot.
So Paras, post the BYOG, what did you do with your winning game?
Actually, it was a it's a very interesting story. So the 2013 BYOG that we won, it was a two-person team. There was me and another one of my friend and fellow programmer, Pratik Sharma. We put the game out. I mean, somebody might have seen it, and they invited us to this event called Apps World in San Francisco. I mean, all they could do was give us a table over there. We didn't have to pay anything, but we'd still have to like arrange for our flights and stay. So it was still a lot of money at that time for us. But yeah, we decided to take the bite and we decided to go there. And just being there, like with the game that you made in BYOG, it was a surreal experience. And we got a lot of contacts over there. A lot of people wanted to take the game forward, but yeah, eventually it did not work out since I mean, diverged to the what we call everyday jobs. Even though I mean those jobs were also cool at that moment, but yeah, we Pratik and I we still ponder about this thing that if say we sometime if at some point we get the time, we would definitely want to develop it further, because it was a really unique concept that I mean we ourselves found it to be unique, and we got a lot of positive reception from that people have not seen something like this before.
That's great, and I think everyone uh, participating in the BYOG can learn something from that. And I think the core idea is to make the best game that they can in these 48 hours, and then keep building on top of it, or learn from it and build something new. So on the chat, we see a lot of NFT fans, and just for the record, the theme has not been announced yet. So there's some conversation about different themes being announced, but so far no themes have been announced. Just so that everybody knows, and please be very careful when you're trading NFTs. Back to you, Vivek.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep, Yadu, over to
I
you.
know I
I was
keep
going to
looking
say.
at the YouTube video and this video, and I get confused whether this is live or not. But yeah, so interestingly enough, from the other side of organizing jams and not participating in them, feels like an age-old story that I've been doing since college. But like I mean, like I think from the other side, it feels more like you get to see like the community grow, I suppose, and like a lot of people doing very interesting things, and sometimes you can't help but you're like, shit, I should also be making games at this point. But yeah, it's like personally, it's been a tremendous journey for me. I had like interestingly enough, that like because you end up organizing things like this, you end up organizing other things like the Global Game Jam, and then you get into like more like meta organizational things elsewhere and go to go to festivals and meet more people who are into organizing and doing a lot of community stuff also. So which has been a it's a weird tangent, but it's been something that I've been personally like part of, which has been quite interesting, and it's because of doing these kind of things consistently, I suppose. and with all these fine folk who's been kind of around, uh, like sticking through this journey as well. Yeah, thoughts, Kinshuk?
Another interesting question from the chat,
Oh,
where people are asking
you
comments
know
from
what's
the
happening?
judges.
No, it's like the chat is what is delaying the announcement. I was like ready to announce. I was telling Ninja like, hi, वैसे भी like we are so flexible. Might as well just announce it at 5:30. Go for it, chat.
Yeah. So comments from judges about how jammers can have their own interpretation of the theme and how they will judge for it, and how would they have first impressions for it, positive, negative on the own interpretation. But like since Paras is only representing the jury here, maybe it's also open to all of us.
Yeah, about the theme. Sorry, about the theme. I mean, when I used to take part in jams, I didn't used to take it completely literally. It can be open. It maybe I mean, something which I would personally avoid is taking it a little too literally, or just having the theme set in one corner of the game and the rest of it doesn't connect to it. I mean, obviously, having the game connect to it more wholesomely is a bonus. It's not something that you should totally chase. But yeah, at the same spectrum on the other end, it shouldn't be the case that you just have just for the sake of it, you have implemented the theme in some way or the other, and it doesn't get conveyed in the entire game at all. So it's just about finding that balance and the interpretation. At least the way I probably in this case judging it, I would see it in a more open manner rather than how literally you have followed it.
Yeah, and over the years, as part of BYOG, we've always tried to encourage participants to have their own interpretations of the theme. In fact, I remember, Yadu, if you remember this, there were a couple of jams where the themes were just icons or images, not a word, uh, just to open it up for interpretation.
Yeah,
And yeah, go on, Yadu.
no, it's just like, so like, to one thing to note generally is that you do have a criteria, a judging criteria which says relevance to theme, but it is still kind of open to interpretation, because I'm sure Vedang and Pranay would kind of chime in here, because you have sort of kind of taken those themes and sort of stretched it a bit as well, not necessarily like, yeah.
Yeah. So just to quickly answer Prajwal and Shahzad's question, they're 16 years old. Can they participate? Yes, you can. But to win the cash prize, you need PAN cards and stuff. So that you would need to explore along the way. Better maybe collaborate with somebody who's over 18 and has those documents.
Coming back to Yadu's question. So, unlearn the theme, unlearn always stuck to me. And for remembering one thing, you have to forget one thing from the previous time. So that is something that made me think of a cool mechanic that in which you have to learn things intentionally and unlearn things as well. So there I came up with the unlearn word, and yeah, I made up the theme from the theme. So that was my interpretation.
Like, you have a thought about this?
Yeah, sure. Like, firstly, I thought that relevance to the theme almost meant like there were three themes given. So, firstly, I was thinking like how to cram in all three of them in my game, and yeah, somehow I did. So, I guess um, a sneak peek. Is there multiple themes this time or
Maybe, maybe.
okay, okay,
But what if
okay.
there are?
Yeah, so you could mix themes. That's one very useful thing that I might add. Like you can mix themes. Like I mixed in the 1 second and the jumping part. That every time you jump, 1 second gets deducted. So the three themes were like 1 second, jump gone wrong, and unlearn.
Unlearn, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I mixed both of them. If you jump, you lose 1 second. So yeah, however you interpret, like you don't have to go crazy deep into it. Like it's ultimately a jam game. But yeah, just make it apparent to the players, like it's with thing. Yeah.
Cool. Are there more questions in the chat, or the chat has like now said, show us the theme?
The chat is not trolling us for theme.
The chat is what?
The chat is not trolling us for the theme.
I should have kept quiet.
Yeah, I guess one last question before we'll reveal the theme is so this is a 48-hour jam. So how should anyone participating for the first time should divide their time for this jam? So how long they should spend on brainstorming the idea, and then how long experimenting with the mechanics and so on. And do they need to sleep?
Yeah, sleep. Please sleep. Yeah. So yes, I think prototyping and coming up with the idea can be done in like today night. So till Sunday morning, you should have come up with your idea and how you're gonna make the game mechanic wise. So that's what I did, right? So I started making the game as a mechanic, as a component mechanic, and then I started making around how I can make it more interesting in the second half of the part. So by Saturday evening, I had my game's components ready, and I tested individually and all. And then I started working on the artwork phase. So yeah, you can always start with the artwork phase first, because it always gives you more inspiration for the mechanics. So yeah, my main thing is to come up with the idea by today night, so you can have more time for preparation of the code and artworks and levels as well. And yeah, to take good care of yourselves with proper sleep and food at the ready. So that's luck.
Well, Yadu, we have 467 registrations so far, participation.
Oh, okay. So we sort of went from 453 to
Yeah, let's announce
467.
theme when we reach 500 then.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Vivek is
Yeah,
trolling the chat now.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need help from all the folks
Yep.
on the
All
live
the
chat
people chatting, we need 500.
Tell your friends.
participants.
Hey,
Oh, 68.
I couldn't find the video of the GMTK video that you were talking about. Maybe you can just share it on the BYOG channel for others. Veda?
The JMK cookbook.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a public resource, right?
Yeah, it's a PDF.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll share that.
Okay. So
Okay.
Yadu, anything else or?
Yeah, I had something, but I keep forgetting what it was. This was something.
Well, quick, Yadu, quick, 7 minutes left. No.
This was not a question, but this was like a thing. I wanted to say that, and I forgot. The technical thing. Yeah, so if you haven't registered on the BYOG.in website, please do so. If you have only registered on the HIO Jam site, please register on both places. It is primarily to reach out to you and then spam you later eventually with more events and stuff. But yeah, but it's primarily to reach out to you in case you win, and then we need to coordinate stuff. So most of the time, it's like last minute, it doesn't work out with your info. a lot of people asked about whether they can upload huge amounts of files and all that. HIO itself has like a 1 GB limit, but you can upload an external URL. You can, like, once you create a project, you can go down, scroll down, and you can find a place where you can add an external file, and you can put a link to an external file like a Google Drive or something. So that should also be fine. If you have like a huge, like 2 GB game or something, for some reason. There was, yeah, I guess we'll keep dropping messages on the BYOG channel as and when it happens. Please, if you want to share updates, please share updates on the BYOG channel how um, about how you're doing. If you want to share screenshots, remember that tomorrow is Screenshot Saturday. So use the BYOG 2021 hashtag when you do a Screenshot Saturday. If you do, there is the BYOG Lounge, which is just another voice channel. Please feel free to hang out, share your screen, share your work, do a live stream if that's the thing that you want to do. If you have any questions, like a bunch of people are generally always online on the Discord, so you can drop in and ask questions if you get stuck, if you want to solve problems or something like that. Yeah, I think that was generally it. I remember that I had something specifically to say, but I have forgotten it now. Um, but if I remember, I'll definitely post it on the UIG channel. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I've run out of things to
There
say.
are there are some questions from people who joined the chat a little later about who can participate, who can win, who can get the money, and stuff like that. So, guys, just check out FAQ on the Jam page on itch.io, and everything is covered there.
If at all the FAQs don't cover anything, do leave a question, tag one of the BYG organizers, and leave it on the BYG channel on Discord, and we will try to answer the best as we can.
Someone
Most of the
asked.
things,
Someone
yeah,
asked if we are on Instagram.
Gamedev.in is on Instagram. India GDC is also on Instagram. Yeah, I keep forgetting to kind of if you have not registered for the conference, it is free. And it's usually like really useful. Like at some point, like if like last year's talks were insanely great, and it was basically free. Like you can register for it for free and attend all the talks. There's a great networking session that usually happens. There's a networking website thingy that's great. Um, and your price distribution and your finals will also be happening. Like the final results will be revealed on the India GDC conference. So remember to sort of sign up again for the conference. Yeah.
Yep.
What are there any other questions?
Well, it's 2.5 minutes left, 471 participants, and over 100 people on the chat now.
Come on, can we hit 500 in 3 minutes? Highly unlikely, but sure. Wishful
Yeah.
thinking nonetheless.
Yeah.
Let's not get greedy now, Yadu.
But yeah, please do
Yeah.
Ninja, drum roll.
follow. Yeah, before we reveal theme, please follow Gamedev.in on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also subscribe to us on YouTube.
There is a blog. There are so many things
Yep.
that we do that nobody
And
knows about.
yeah,
Just
we
go to the Gamedev.in website, and there is a links to a bunch of these things there. I don't think we have links to our socials there, sadly. For some reason, we don't. Uh, Maybe we
yeah,
do, but I don't remember if we do. But go to Gamedev.in. We have a people's page where game devs like you can sign up with your LinkedIn account, and then we collaborate people together eventually to make a metaverse NFT card trading game eventually. Not really, but yeah, that is a thought. Uh, we will probably make it into an API where you can use and then try to make a game out of it somehow. We'll figure it out somehow.
There are multiple NFT fans out there. Maybe a lot of games will be made as NFTs in this
Oh
jam,
no.
Yadu.
Yeah. Yeah, I am mixed about
Which is
NFTs.
which
So
is which is not a bad idea, you know. This game was made in a jam NFT.
Okay.
maybe make each game into an NFT.
Okay,
So
60 seconds left now.
60
so
seconds.
Kinshuk,
Should
what do you think? Is there a one theme or multiple theme?
I think there are multiple themes.
Okay.
you may be right.
Yeah.
Can you guess what the themes are?
Or like what kind
I
of
think I
themes?
think we should spend the next 50 seconds taking theme recommendations from the chat if people can guess what the themes are.
And
Yeah.
then just finally quickly edit the Photoshop file and just show it.
Well,
Yeah.
the first suggestion has been NFT.
Lord. Game
Maybe.
dev. Sure. Maybe. 10 seconds left theme. 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. Theme aa jaye. 10 seconds?
Drum roll. Well,
PUBG
10
जैसे
seconds
लगा
are
था.
left now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Come on, Ninja. 3, 2,
Yep.
1. Where's the theme?
Just here.
Time's up.
Oh, time हो गया. Where is the theme?
Dang, ये क्या हो गया
Yep.
Ninja? ये इतना बड़ा सरप्राइज.
No. So actually I've shared the theme, but I
Hey.
think you guys
It's
won't
it's
be
not in
able
full
to
view.
see. But yeah, you can see
Yeah,
see it here. Uh, uh, yep.
It's
You guys can
clipped.
see the theme on Discord.
it's a skill.
View is
Well, it
clipped.
says reset
On
to
YouTube.
views and minimal interaction. Ninja, the full image is not visible on
On the
the
chat
screen.
on the stream.
It is now.
Okay. Yay. So there are three themes. You're free to interpret it in however you want, as we all talked about again. So yeah, I guess now we don't really have to talk about it. So thank you all for joining us. Hopefully this jam is going to be interesting and
Yeah.
somewhat useful for all of you. And these themes are also interesting, and you find interesting
Yeah.
ways to make
Do you,
interesting things. If I
do you
can say
want to
it.
get some response on the theme from Paras?
Yes, Paris. Everybody, like, please. What do you think?
Actually, yeah, I was thinking these. What I'm reading over here, it falls like very much in my area. So I am thinking maybe I took the wrong decision to judge. Maybe I should have been making the game. Because I'm always up for minimalism in games, especially when it comes to, say, mechanics, or when it comes to the art style. I mean, personally, as a gamer, these are the kind of games I like to play. But yeah, I mean, it'll be really fun playing so many games. I mean, if I would have just made one, I probably would have just made mine and then went to sleep 2 days later. But my work begins after those 2 days, so I'm excited about it. These themes they sound really interesting, and yeah, a lot can be done with it. So yeah, can't wait.
Vedang, Pranav, any game idea yet?
Yeah,
Already,
and
like,
happy to take
Yeah.
feedback or like excitement and opinion about the theme on the chat app.
Yeah.
Guys, you're saying something. Sorry, please.
Vedang?
Yeah, no. Just thinking about the themes now. That's what
Yeah.
it's like already into the thinking mode.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great to hear. I'm sure everybody is also like slowly, like things are turning slowly. Yeah. Do we
So
have
do people need to use all three? They can multiply, like combine and multiply the themes.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want with it. interpret it in many ways. Make a minimal game with 2 views if you want. That resets every 20 seconds. That's all fine for us. Uh, like it's up to you to decide however you want to kind of combine and use them. You can use one of them if you want to. There is no requirement for using all three or two.
At least one of them.
At least one of them. And do mention the theme that you are kind of using in the, like, just in case, like
Submission,
if you, yeah, when you're submitting a game, remember to just we will reiterate all these points on the coming days, but remember to just put it down when you are creating a game and submitting a game, so that the judges know what they are kind of looking for and want to kind of think about these kind of things.
And would
One,
people get extra points for using multiple themes?
no, it's like they would get.
Of course not.
They I mean, if they use something interestingly enough and it's relevant to the, if it's relevant, it makes sense, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, there's no special points for using multiple things, but just yeah, no extra points.
Yeah. There was one
What
question yesterday. Would Yadu and Kunshuk be playing games this time like last year?
we should we have 3
Maybe.
weeks. Kinshuk has been AWOL forever, so I we will have to grab him and sit him down.
No promises. Maybe.
And I think it's something that we should be doing. We ideally should, like, once the submission comes in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm assuming already, like, it's going to be like a lot of games. Please submit.
We'll get more people to play, Yadu.
Yeah, we'll get other people to play at least. I mean, hopefully people submit WebGL builds so that it's easy to just play, and nothing exotic that requires special dance moves or something. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's an idea. Like, both Vivek and I were kind of excited about. Last time also, I think a lot of people were excited to see their games being played and talked about on the stream, and it was really great. I mean, like, I played all the platformers like sweat, which means I'll be playing.
I remember I said that pretty much every game I tried to play. So yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. We should be doing that at some point. One person who is not here and who has done a ton of work is Chirag. Special shout out to him. He is away due to some personal reasons, but he will be with us tomorrow and day after. Chirag Chopra, who runs Lucid Labs, who's been helping us. Chirag and Vivek is primarily the two people who've been doing BYOG since last year. Kinshuk and I are just here to steal the limelight.
Especially me. This is my only contribution to this BYOG.
It's just it should have been Chirag here, and it's just me just taking his place, helping him out. But without Vivek and Chirag, this would not have been like possible at all, because we're just tired old people now. Also, let young people carry on doing interesting things. Also, special
Show
shout
yourself,
out to.
Yadu. Not old yet.
Not old at all. Okay. Yes. The other thing is, again, a special shout out to India GDC for helping us out again this year. And also, please go check out their conference page and register and things like that. If we don't have any, I think our chat is also dying and our stream is also dying. So I don't know if we need to prolong this and let people get on with something. Even I'm interested to do a jam game right now, but sadly, kind of, I can't submit
I think people are just. I think you can submit, Yadu. You can't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Technically, I'm not a jury.
I know. But you're an organizer, so you can't win.
Yeah,
but that should not stop you from making a game.
Yeah.
Unless it's all about greed, Yadu.
It is all about greed. But no.
Well, I think people should
Yep.
jump off and start working on their game. I'm looking out for all the NFTs that are going to be made in this channel. So
Yeah.
let's see if
I
that
think
happens.
Vedang and Pranav just want to disconnect ASAP.
He's like, just let us go. He's like, can't stop
Yeah.
thinking about this. Yeah, make
Okay.
Shiba
Good luck,
Inu
everyone.
great.
Good luck, everyone. Give it your best shot.
Thank you, Paras, for
Yep.
staying on for so long. And we will bug you once we have more things. And thank you all for joining us. And thank you, Vedang and Pradoi, as well. And kind of all the best for everybody. And do remember Screenshot Saturday tomorrow. And tag all our socials if you can. That would be really nice. And that's pretty much it. I think that's great.
Yep.
We are always on this Discord. So if you have any questions, reach out to Chirag, me, or Vivek. And at the rate BYOG organizer is also another role that you can reach out to. And sometimes Bug Kinshuk as well, who is King Julian. But that's it. Thank you all. And
Yep.
goodbye and good night and have fun. All the best.